must be understood that our supreme interests, chiefly the security and unity of Jerusalem, are not the main concern of those anonymous officials who attack us and me personally, because the assault on me comes only because I defend the state of Israel. Were I not to defend the state of Israel, were I not to insist vigorously on our national and security interests, they would not be attacking me. And despite all of the attacks I suffer, I will continue to defend our country.
All right, folks, Benjamin Netanyahu, and joining us now to talk about the high-ranking White House official who called Benjamin Netanyahu chicken blank, Jim Hoft, founder and chief blogger at the Gateway Pundit. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Steve. Good to be with you.
Good to have you. You know, I laugh because John Kerry today saying, that doesn't reflect the way I feel or the way the president feels, and I've never heard that before, and yeah, right.
Right, I don't believe that for a second. They've been hard on Netanyahu ever since Barack Obama came into office. In fact, they actively campaigned against him in his last election. So I certainly don't believe that. It is very, the comments were so offensive, and I just, it's stunning that this administration, yesterday, the spokesman for the State Department, Jen Psaki, says they have no interest in finding out who said this about Netanyahu. And that's very upsetting.
Right, and the same Ed Henry was pressing the White House spokesman as well, Josh Earnest, and saying, you know, you've gone to great lengths to find out about leaks and leakers and the media and whatever, and then you're telling me you're not gonna have any interest in doing this, and he avoided that question too. What should happen if they're so sorry and so ashamed and it's so outrageous and it doesn't represent the president, they should find out who said it and fire that person.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what Governor Rick Perry said today in a statement he released. He says this person should be gone and they should do an investigation. This is our closest ally in the Middle East, and this administration, it's kind of weird that this would happen at this time, a week or two before the elections, that they would slam Israel like this. But Rick Perry's right. They should find out who this is, and that person should be gone.
And you know, Jim, it's not only Jewish voters who, I'm sorry, I'm a Jewish voter, and I don't hold that much hope for the Jewish voters overall turning away from Obama over this, either now or in the future, because it'll take a lot more than that, unfortunately. But evangelical Christians, as we heard from Jake Tapper yesterday, I saw him say that with Hugh Hewitt on his radio show, and also we had a guest in studio who said the same thing, Hank Scheinkampf, Democratic strategist, that evangelical Christians will be energized to go out and vote because of this.
I think so, and you know what's interesting is yesterday Franklin Graham was actually in the White House speaking with Barack Obama and a group of other people about Ebola. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall then. He, of course, has been very outspoken against his president. And I wonder what him and his group and his followers and supporters think of this latest gaffe by the administration.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. All right, let's move on to Ferguson, and you know, it's really interesting. Since the last time we spoke, CNN came on 2 days ago, this exclusive, the police chief of Ferguson is stepping down, and the mayor could be next. And why? Because they've been under pressure. They got to placate the protesters in advance of, you know, a possible non-indictment. Well, I mean, they can't be more forthcoming and more honest, in my view, unless they're fooling me. And they've all gone on camera and said, we're not going anywhere. I'm not stepping down. I don't know where you're getting this from. They still insist it's going to happen. Where do you weigh in on this? Do you think that they'll be gone?
You know, the police chief Jackson came out, like you said, a day or two ago and commented on these rumors and said, I'm not going anywhere. I have no plans of going anywhere. I haven't heard anything locally, and I am in the St. Louis area, that this police chief is going to get ousted, or that he's going to be replaced, or that he's going to step down. So it is interesting that CNN just keeps running with this crazy story. Another big item that came out today, and that is that this attorney who's in charge of the investigation in the grand jury at the St. Louis County, he came out and said that this leak that supposedly was out on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, he says that was actually a hack attack. This woman on her Twitter account 2 weeks ago said that Darren Wilson would not be charged, and she has a close friend on the grand jury who told her so. Well, today, District Attorney Bob McAuliffe, says that this woman, her Twitter account was hacked, and that's how that item got out there, which is really, it's a strange story. But that's the latest on the investigation.
Well, Jim, add to that Anonymous, the group Anonymous, has reportedly said that they've hacked into a government, or they found out from a government agency, I guess computer, that's what they do, that there will be no indictment, and that it'll be moved up, the announcement, not like next year, but like in a couple of weeks. Right.
I've heard that actually from the anonymous people who put this up, and I've also heard from a couple of sources I have here locally, and that is that the announcement will be made on the 9th or 10th, which is a Sunday, the weekend while school's out, because a lot of the schools locally have told the St. Louis County they don't want this going on when school's in session. So
Gotcha.
Isn't that amazing?
All right, Jim, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. Appreciate you coming on, sir. Always good to talk to you.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, we'll be back with Associate Professor of Political Science and Geography at Old Dominion University, Dr. Jesse Richman. We spoke with him at an earlier date. But first, let's check in on the Nebraska 2nd Congressional District House race with a road to the midterms.
There's a lot of talk about money on the campaign trail, from who's spending what to where it came from. It's not unheard of for millions of dollars to be spent on a single race. But talk about money, specifically the incumbent's money, could end up hurting Republican Representative Lee Terry in his re-election bid. Democratic challenger Nebraska State Senator Brad Ashford has made money the focus of this race. Last year, Terry voted for the government shutdown. That by itself might have been a forgivable offense for some voters, but as the Ashford campaign has repeatedly pointed out, Terry refused to give up his own $174,000 salary, as many members of Congress did. Terry at the time defended his decision, saying he had, quote, a nice house and a kid in college. Ashford also wants to cut congressional pay by 10%, something else Terry has been vocal against on the campaign trail. But money could end up hurting Ashford too. Politico.com reports Terry has been able to out-fundraise his opponent by more than a 3-to-1 margin. Dollars Terry is putting to work on the airwaves to defend his record and go after his opponent.